Brits are currently on course to become a minority by 2066, roughly thereabouts.
What's an ethnic Brit, Oswald? What do you mean by that?
English, Welsh, Scots and Irish.
So am I English?
No, you're a Pakistani man.
Well, I was born in England, and England's a country, so am I English?
So what's your ethnicity?
Well, that's not what I'm asking you, though, because Anglo-Saxon
that's what I'm asking you.
But English is not in my head an ethnicity. English is a country. And hold on, Oswald, let me tell you what I think. Anglo-Saxon is an ethnicity, and England is a country. So I'm wondering because, by the way, there's no such ethnicity as Pakistani either, Oswald. Pakistan was a country created in 1947 out of about 5 ethnicities.
Well, I'm sorry I'm not a learned historian about the past of your country.
Well, you don't have to apologise for... Well, it's not my country. Britain's my country, Oswald. I was born here.
I'll put the question directly to you, Majid.
Well, you're more than welcome to, but before this conversation carries on, can you accept that Britain is my country?
I don't think you belong here, to be honest, Majid. I think you're a subversive globalist.
Well, that's interesting, but whether or not you think I'm a subversive globalist, and aside from whether it's true, because I'm not even going to bother to get into that conversation, just check out my views on corporatism, global corporatism, and
yes, you stated you're a globalist. Yes, that's correct.
That was a joke about 4 years ago, but that's a different point, Oswald. The point is, whether or not I hold that view or not, how does that negate being British? I mean, there are white people that are globalists that you'd still consider British. So I'm wondering why a falsely attributed view to me, even if you were correct, means I'm not British. Are you happy with ethnic Brits becoming a minority in their own country? No, that's not what... First answer my question, and then I'll answer your question.
You answer that question.
Well, I'm afraid you don't get to dictate the terms of this conversation on this show.
That's what people want to hear. They want to hear people like you who have a voice in media.
Oswald,
they want to hear you answer that question.
Whatever you think people want to hear, could you first do me the courtesy of responding to why you think that if a white person held globalist views, you'd still consider them British, but if a brown person incorrectly attributed holds globalist views, you would... No, but then why is it... Well, I don't know. I'm asking you why you don't think I've got the right to call myself British.
Your ethnic roots come from the Middle East somewhere.
That's not what I asked you, Oswald. Why do you think I don't have the right to call myself British?
Because you're not British. How hard is it for you to understand?
So what is it you think I am?
You're a Pakistani man. You're from the Middle East.
But I don't have a Pakistani passport.
Oh, so a piece of paper dictates your ethnic origin now,
No, but Oswald, we've already agreed Pakistani is not an ethnicity. Why are you telling me I'm of the Pakistani ethnicity?
I'm not a geneticist who can tell you about the Middle East and the roots of people from the Middle East.
That's right. So can you agree that England is a country, like Scotland is a country, and the ethnicity, what you're really trying to say, and then we can actually have a conversation. I'm happy to have a conversation with you about it, but I think what you're really trying to say is that you're worried that white Anglo-Saxons are being stigmatized or discriminated against or could end up being a minority. Now, that is a legitimate conversation I can have with you, but you can't tell me that I'm not British and then want to have that conversation with me because you've already delegitimized my view as far as I'm concerned. So there's no point in me having that chat with you. Do you see?
Look, I mean, this is the view of every single nation in the world has its own ethnic people. And
yeah, Oswald, I'm not disputing that. I'm questioning your definition of English as an ethnicity because England is a country. If England were to break away from Scotland, right? That's a country, yeah? Now, people can be English because they're members of that country, but what I suspect you mean is you're worried about the plight of white Anglo-Saxons in England. Is that what you mean?
Well, yeah, basically.
Yeah, so can we agree on terms for this debate? Because I can't talk to somebody that doesn't think I have a legitimate view and a stake in my country.
You can have a legitimate view, but that doesn't change your ethnicity or your
Oswald, you're losing the point. If we're both equals in this country as English and British...
I know you don't think you are an equal in this country.
I know you don't, Oswald. I'm saying if we both...